Rangers and the Yankees tonight. Who's your guys' pick to win this game 3?
Exciting matchup. I'm going to have to go with the Rangers and Cliff Lee tonight because I think he's going to pitch the game of his life and be unstoppable. Granted, the Yankees have some power hitters, but you have to get men on base, and I don't know if Cliff Lee's going to make enough slip-ups in order for the Yankees to get on base. So I'm going to have to go with the Rangers. I don't think they're going to win this division, or the series, I guess it would be. But I think they're going to win tonight.
Yeah, we all know how Cliff Lee is when he plays the Yankees. But Eddie, who's your pick in this
I'm
primetime
still
game 3 matchup?
tossed up tonight for that. I'll probably make my pick right before the game. But the Rangers, they have Cliff Lee, like she said. He's 2-0 in the playoffs with a 1.13 ERA. He has 21 strikeouts, 0 walks, and that was against a tough Rays team who has an equally good lineup as the Yankees. Maybe not as good, but up there with them. To hold them in check for the series is remarkable. He's also pitched well against the Yankees this year. He's 2-0 against them, and he has a couple no decisions where he should have won the game but didn't have run support. And he likes pitching in Yankee Stadium. But Andy Pettitte, he counters him with 19 career wins in the playoffs, which is most all time. And he's never lost in the league championship series.
It's going to be exciting.
It's really going to be
If I had to make a pick now, I'd take the Rangers with Cliff Lee just because he doesn't let hitters get on base.
Yeah. It's going to be a great game. There's storylines behind both these pitchers. Like Cliff Lee, we all know his results with the Yankees. He's just dominant against these guys. It's going to be the Yankees' job to try to control this play, step out of the box, don't have him, try to keep him off rhythm as much as possible. Just slow Cliff Lee down. And Andy Pettitte is really going to have to pitch the game of his life today. If he wins today, it will be 20 wins in postseason history, the most all time. And I really believe Pettitte has a lot of motivation, and then I think that's going to fuel the other players on the team also into just backing him in the outfield and up the at bat. And I really think the Yankees will win this game and ultimately win the series, just because they're the Yankees to me, and I really think that they will make it to the World Series once again. But moving on to the next series we got here, the San Francisco Giants and the Philadelphia Phillies. Who's your guys' picks in this Game 3 matchup, Jess?
Giants fan, I'm going to have to go with the Giants. We're talking about before. The pitchers matched up pretty evenly. I'm really excited to see Matt Cain pitch tomorrow. It's tomorrow night. Yep. And I just think Philly has the depth in their lineup, but I think the Giants, especially with Cody Ross, they have some injuries, but I think they're going to be able to pull it through. Matt Cain's going to be awesome. I'm excited to see it.
Well, Eddie, who's your pick in this matchup, Game 3 matchup?
I'm going to go with the Phillies because of Cole Hamels, and he's been here before. He's done this for the past 2 years, as the whole Phillies team has. They're looking to be the second team ever to be in the World Series 3 straight years. But he's going to be the key for them. They have to keep the bats going like they did last night. They busted out the bats pretty bad on the Giants. Sorry to tell you that.
They did. I had to turn the game off. It was pretty bad.
But the first game, he had Tim Lincecum. He matched up against Roy Halladay, who he pitched well. But the Giants' bats seem to come alive. They're only 13 for 67 in the series, and Cody Ross can't do it all by himself. The surprise of the playoffs, if you will, that he can't do it all by himself.
Exactly. Cody Ross is definitely not going to do it all by himself. And I don't think this series is ultimately going to play out to who pitches the best, and they have both great bullpens on both teams. But I think the Phillies just have a stronger bullpen, and pitching is just such a vital factor in the game of baseball right now. It really could take over a home field advantage. Like, if your pitcher catches on, it shuts down the whole opposite team. And even though they're going to be away, I really believe that the Phillies will still win this game in San Francisco. Cody Ross, as long as they are able to keep him under control and not let him dictate the game like he did before, because he's really the reason why they won Game 1. Yep. So if they're able to just control him, who was a real hot bat, I really believe the Phillies will be able to win this. So now that we talked about these championship series, who's your guys' pick for the World Series, Jess?
I'm going to go with the Yankees and the Giants. Yeah. I think it's going to be an exciting matchup to see. And I think if the Giants can overcome the Phillies, which I think is one of the best teams in baseball, I have to go with my heart and say the Giants. But I think they can overcome the Yankees, too. So I'm excited. I want to see how these series pan out and see who makes it to the World Series.
It would be interesting if the Giants actually did make it. Eddie?
I'd like to see the Giants in the World Series, but I'm going to have to pick the Phillies just because of their experience, and they've been there for the past 3 years. And I think they're going to play the winner of tonight's game. I think whoever wins tonight's game in Yankee Stadium is going to go on to win the series. In 7, though, I don't think it's going to end any less. But I'd like to see the Rangers there because I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, so I don't like the Yankees. So I want to see the Rangers and the Phillies.
The Rangers and the Phillies. See, my pick for the World Series is the Yankees and the Phillies, and I picked this because I just love to see these two teams come up. These two powerhouses, every time they play each other, it's just fireworks happen. So I really do want to see these guys make it to the World Series to see who ultimately this year will dictate who's the best team to me at the end of the day, the Yankees or the Phillies. Because being in Pennsylvania, we got New York right on top of us, and Philadelphia, they're the East Coast. So. And the Pirates aren't that good, so you gotta pick a
Pirates
team.
aren't good.
Really? Pirates.
You gotta pick a team. So I really believe that the New York Yankees and the Phillies will ultimately make it to the World Series again. So we're gonna switch it up to individual players. Who are your guys' postseason MVPs after these short 2 games? Jess.
I'll give you one guess. I'm gonna go with Cody Ross. 3 home runs in 2 games, breaking up the no-hitter each night. 2 home runs to help win the first game. And then a home run last night to help the Giants tie the game back up. Unfortunately, you guys all know how that turned out. But he's definitely a surprise. Acquired him right like mid-season, and I'm excited.
Really made a name for himself in this postseason.
He has. He's a postseason player. I'm going to go with that.
Eddie, who's your postseason MVP?
I picked AL and NL, but if I had to pick one overall, obviously the one would be Cliff Lee because of his performance. But I'm going to go with Robinson Cano. He's batting .429. He has 1 home run. He has 4 RBIs. And 6 runs scored, and he was the catalyst of their comeback in Game 1 against the Rangers when they were down 5-0. He hit the home run, then he later reached and scored in the next inning. So I'm going to have to go with him. He's put up MVP numbers all year, so him. But I agree with her in the NL, Cody Ross.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with a player from the Giants also in Tim Lincecum. He's just been lights out. Teams has not have the Phillies have not had an answer from him when he pitched in Game 1. He had 8 Ks in 7 innings, and that's just like, wow, this kid is really serious. And he's so young. It's just scary to see how he is going to be a few years from now. I really believe that no batter will be able to touch him sooner in the future. So that's definitely my postseason MVP for the MLB so far this year. And that's going to do it for our second block. We're going to shoot it to our next commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with more OTB.